Howdy do, y'all. This is John, and today we are talking about Monster Summer, a new movie out on VOD, and I think still playing in some theaters right now. And in Monster Summer, it deals with this young teenager who is, getting ready for summer. He lives on Martha's Vineyard. And all of a sudden, these weird things start to happen in Martha's Vineyard. Kids would disappear, then reappear, however, just act soulless and lifeless. And him and this other guy played by Mel Gibson, they start to suspect that there may be a witch around. Okay, so getting into it, first and foremost, what I liked about the movie, I like how they went with mostly practical effects instead of CGI, and, only using CGI inarguably when they absolutely had to. CGI is inarguably, overused nowadays, and I very much appreciate it whenever, someone just simply uses it when it's absolutely necessary and just, goes a more traditional route when you don't need it. This film was shot on real locations, and what effects they did use were mostly like makeup effects and, optical effects, them hiding things like a bright lamp or something like that. And honestly, a little bit of CGI is in the movie. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad. Also, I do, like the tone and stuff that they were going for with this film. It very much reminded me of this period in the 2000s and even the 90s where you had genuine horror films that were made for family viewing. These were actual horror movies that were a little bit creepy. However, they weren't graphic at all, and you could sit down as a family and watch them. They were typically given a PG rating instead of a PG-13 or an R, like the more hardcore horror films were. Things like, Monster House, Coraline. I think Corpse Bride can be classified as one as well. Maybe. And you even saw that in TV shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark? And, my favorite growing up, Goosebumps. Just the tone and the style of this film very much reminded me of that era. Because yes, this is a family-friendly movie. Yes, this is a horror film. It's perfect for your kids to watch. I'm not lying. This film should have been rated PG instead of PG-13 because it's not even remotely graphic. And like the worst thing that ever happens in the film is someone briefly mentions, has this guy been smoking dope? That's like the most, unfamily friendly thing in the film. In terms of storytelling, Monster House and Coraline definitely had more of a story going on than this film. The film's story is a very run-of-the-mill horror story. There's not much to it, which, was great for the kids, but with adults, you should have like more of a emotional connection with the film. Like, perfect example, Monster House. That whole movie is centered around this house that is haunted by, the spirit of this man's deceased wife. There's a bit of an emotional connection there, especially considering he doesn't want to leave this house, even though it's hurting people. For with this, there really isn't that much of an emotional connection in the film. It's just these teenagers trying to solve these very weird and bizarre things going on in this town. Also, the characters aren't exactly that memorable either. I'm kidding, the characters in this film are they're kind of bland and forgettable, and that's a little bit of a shame, really. I'm not gonna lie and say there was no attempt at all. With the lead and with Mel Gibson's character, there was undeniably an attempt. However, that attempt was unfortunately not strong enough. to make you like truly care for these characters. All in all, Monster Summer, it's fine for kids. However, for us adults, it's just tolerable. It's just tolerable. It's there, to entertain our kids, if we have any, for 90 minutes. And, it won't, like, make us want to bash our heads into the wall or anything like that. In terms of, like, is it actually good? At least to an adult eyes, not really. Personally, if I'm going to introduce my children to horror, I would choose something like Coraline or Monster House. That's their first horror film. To give Monster Summer a 4. It's a shame, we don't really get these kind of movies very much anymore. Usually kids horror, it's something like House with a Clock in Its Walls or something like that. That's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Bradetsky will return.